So as many subscribers will know, the family rice fields got hit pretty hard with a storm around harvest time last year, and it means that for this year we don't have the usual rice supply that we would have had. Usually we have a year's supply and it is ample to give to neighbours and take care of all of the family's needs. So in order for Yai to make do with the rice that she's got, I decided to go out and buy some myself. And what really occurred to me is how expensive it actually is. When you're used to just having access to a commodity for all of the years that you're here and that you're not used to paying for that, it is quite shocking that when you actually go and pay for it, how expensive that it can be for good quality rice. The location that we buy it from is actually an old rice mill. They used to process all of the rice from the local area. They have this giant rice machine where they would put the rice through and dehusk the rice and process it and bag it up. It's long been retired now. These machines are notorious for breaking and being very expensive to fix. And I believe that the supplier now buys and sells and trades rice, but it's no longer milled in this area. They do process the rice bran, which we use to supplement food to the pigs. We mix that with the standard pig food, and so it helps the pig food go a little bit further. But now they seem to buy, sell and trade the rice. Now, the rice is divided into different tiers. So you have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 1 is usually the nice, big, long grain rice. Grade 2 seems a little bit shorter, and the grade 3 seems like kind of like little bits of rice and not really rice grains at all. Some people have to go for the lower tiers because they simply can't afford the upper tiers. And what I have noticed is the prices have gone up quite a lot in our location. I believe this is to do with transport and the current economic situation, but the price is steadily rising. So I decided to buy 4 bags at the cost of around 7,000 baht. So I did get the rice back and put it in our pantry, only to open it up and discover it was full of rice weevils. These are tiny beetles that live in the rice, and they don't just live in it, they lay their eggs in it as well, inside individual grains of rice. Those larvae, you don't see them at first, they grow inside the grain and then they emerge as adults. So I had to cart it all back, and the guy was super friendly about it as well. I was kind of worried that if you bought it, that you wouldn't be able to get it replaced, or because you've opened the bag. I cut the bag open with a knife. It turns out that they buy the rice in bulk and they'll often package it there. And so I didn't require a refund. I wanted the new rice, of course, and he was very happy to open 4 more bags and show us there was no weevils in there. Now, this is a real world example of how prices are starting to move up here little by little. This is affecting just about everything. The local vegetable sellers, I've noticed, yet again have not put their prices up. And so you go get your local veg, they haven't put them up, I guess because they're locally produced, not much transport. But also it's a sign that they're not trying to price gouge. And what I wanted to share with you guys today is how the government are also stopping people from price gouging. And I have inside experience from this because I sell a lot of honey and I sell a lot of cacao and many different vegetable powders. We ship many packages every single day, and we have been informed that we're not allowed to raise the price of some of our products without government permission. This is an effort from the Thai government in order to stop price gouging here. They are being very preemptive about this, and it applies to certain categories of products, especially staples. They know and understand that some malicious sellers will increase their prices and take advantage of the situation with the Strait of Hormuz without actually needing to increase those prices, just to push profit margins. Now, though it is good to know that the government here is being preemptive about this and protecting consumers, it also does make you wonder what they know and what could be coming in terms of intense price hikes, across the board. Now, from what I read, the government has actually added more items to the controlled list, moving from 59 items to 70 items. These include household goods such as soap, detergent, and daily necessities. If a seller wants to increase the price of those goods, they have to get direct permission. And in order to get that approval, they actually have to submit cost breakdowns. The penalties if you're caught price gouging as well is up to 7 years in prison and 140,000 baht fine, up to 140,000 baht fine. So these are criminal offences if you don't get the correct permissions. Now, of course, this is a positive move. It's protecting consumers in many ways, but I also think they do it because they don't want to cause any social disruption. People get very angry when they see not only the price of petrol going up and diesel going up, but they start to see it at the shelves in the supermarkets and whatnot, especially from retailers that don't need to do it. Of course, the government looks good as well by being seen to doing something. And from what I see online, there's a lot of criticism about the Thai government. A lot of it is warranted, but a lot of it is unnecessary too. They're kind of damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they don't do something proactive to avoid price increases and try to control retailers, they are being seen as doing nothing. And if they do it, they get criticized as trying to look good. A lot of this also supports local smaller business as well, because a lot of the mama papa shops here, they buy from larger companies. And if they put their prices up, that is then reflected here in the rural areas. People live here off Pla Kapong in many ways, and they're very sensitive to the price going up of that Pla Kapong, and this move by the government helps control that price. I've noticed that some Pla Kapong, and I can't say the one it is, has gone down from like 4 fish inside to 2 fish inside. It's mainly just tomato sauce for 2 fish inside. Believe it or not, I found that the cheaper brands, you actually get more fish in there. Now on top of that, obviously there are also issues with free market control and kind of kicking the price down the road. You're kind of masking what the real problem is, and that problem is the rising costs of food. We've seen already that there are problems in the Philippines with the rising costs of food, and it looks like if the situation continues, it's inevitably going to come and hit here. As you know, on this channel, I am a little bit of a prepper. Being a prepper is different from being a hoarder. I want to make sure that my family and the surrounding family, and even the village to some extent, you could give some examples that I've done in the past with the village, always have access to food, which means I do stock a lot of food, and I make sure we have access to all your necessities like antibiotics and medications that we need for our family. Remember, we are in a rural area. Also, having backup fuel is important, especially if you live where we live, because you never know if you're going to have to evacuate. And if you have to evacuate and your truck is at low fuel, how are you going to get your family to a safe location? So I understand for some people, they think you shouldn't keep a backup of fuel and food and whatnot. I feel a responsibility to keep medications, food and fuel, not for myself and my own life, but for my family and my tribe, basically. My job is to take care of my tribe. And so far, from what I can see, there hasn't been much price gouging, and that is because the government have done quite a lot to restrict it. If I was to give my honest opinion, for whatever it matters, I actually think they're doing the right thing in this situation, because they're delaying perhaps the immediate suffering of the population that can't afford the price increases right now. And I think it's like a wait and hope situation. Like, you wait and hope that things get better and try to maintain stability. In Thailand, they'll often try to maintain stability over efficiency, is what you see quite a lot. I actually support the action. It won't be popular with everybody. There were some people that will say, you know, it's a bad idea, you're going to let the free market decide. Thailand is affected in terms of fertilizer also from the Strait of Hormuz. It imports a lot of its fertilizer, and so that could be an issue. Not so much of running out, but price increases, making it more expensive in terms of farming, which is something that I'm going to be going on to in a different vlog. For now, I'll keep you tuned into the food situation here and the price gouging situation. I track these things pretty closely, although I won't be buying much for the next few months, because I have now stocked in advance for our family, just to make sure everybody, not only my own kids, the surrounding kids in the area, are well fed.